This is Dom from BlackToad Studios and welcome to another battle report. Today we have Space Wolves versus the Word Bearers, and we have got Paul from Meta Events bringing his Space Wolves today. Definitely going to be a fun game. Now, what are Meta Events? Good question. Meta Events are three gentlemen who run some fantastic competitive events on the South Coast, and I'm going to shamelessly plug their recent event that will be coming up. I, of course, have taken part in a couple of their events so far and really enjoyed it, so I really recommend these guys. So their next event is on the 8th of June. It's a doubles event taking place at Battle Memorial Hall in Battle, East Sussex. Go check them out. I'll put a link below to their page. Really, really good group of people, guys. Go check them out if you can. But anyway, onwards from the shameless plug, let's have a look at the armies that will be playing tonight. Alright, so here we are with my 1750 points of chaos. We have got 3 detachments here, which we'll run through in a moment. But let's start over here. So we've got a Vanguard over here with his Chaos Lord with a Power Sword and a Plasma Pistol. We have got 10 Rubric Marines with Warp Flamers inside this Rhino. You've got 7 Plague Marines back there with 2 Plasma Guns and a Plasma Pistol. The rest have got Bolt Guns. Back here we have got a squad of Chosen with 3 Plasma Guns, a Heavy Bolter and a Plasma Pistol. Coming up here we have got 5 Chaos Terminators. Mainly with combi bolters. Then we've got a Reaper at the front. We have got a Terminator in Sorcerer in Terminator armor, sorry, with a combi bolter and Force Stave. We've got the Warlord here with dual Lightning Claws, Mark of Khorne on him, Talisman of Blood and Unholy Fortitude. So hopefully he'll be sticking around for a bit and doing a bit of damage. Across here we've got 3 squads of cultists, 3 squads of 10, 2 combat squads and 1 shooty squad. Back here we've got 1 Chaos Vindicator there, and then over on the right we've got our Demon Force, a little patrol here. So we've got 10 Bloodletters there, and of course Scarbrand is here. So hopefully Scarbrand will be able to do a bit of damage, but we'll wait and see what happens there. But there we are, that is my 1750 points of chaos. So in total we have 9 command points. And let's have a look at Paul and his Space Wolves. Right, so here we are, Paul's 1750 points. Also a mixed force of Inquisition and Space Wolves. Very nice. All right, Paul, do you want to go through your force here? Starting from the front and working our way back here. So what do we have at the front?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a Vanguard of Inquisition. So we've got a Malleus Inquisitor and Terminator arm with a Psy Cannon and a Nemesis Demon Hammer.
Nice.
We've got 3 squads of Acolytes, 1 Storm Bolters, 1 Bolt Guns and 1 with 3 Plasma Guns and 2 Melter Guns.
Very nice.
And the Razorback, which is painted Inquisition, but is actually bought out of the Space Wolf.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, Space Wolf crew.
Space Wolf crew on that one. And over here we've got the Valkyrie, which is the, cost me a command point to bring it along today, but there it is, it's about Inquisition Valkyrie.
Very nice.
Obviously a Jacaro, because no army is complete without a monkey.
No, very true, very true.
And the Space Wolf part of the force, we've got 3 squads of Grey Hunters, each with bolt guns and chainswords.
Yep.
Each squad's got a Wolfguard Battle Leader in Terminator armour with a Storm Bolter and a Storm Shield to try and keep them alive a little bit longer. We've got at the back, we've got a 5 Wolfen, the 1 with the claws and obviously the 4 with the hammers and shields, because it's the only way you're ever going to take them.
Yep.
At the top there we've got the Storm Wolf with Las Cannons, Heavy Bolters and the Frost Cannons, whatever they're called. Can't remember.
Yeah, Frosty Guns.
Frosty Guns. The Wolf Lord's standing in the middle there. He's got a Power Fist, Jump Pack and a Bolt Pistol. He's got the Wolf and Stone for an extra attack, and he's got the Saga of the Wolfkin for an extra attack, so he's got a few of those.
Nice.
And then over here we've got Beyond the Fell-Handed to sort a few things out, so it's a battalion of Space Wolves as well.
Very nice.
So it's a battalion and a Vanguard, so it's 9 command points, plus 1 for Bjorn, minus 1 for taking the auxiliary Valkyrie. So I'm still 9 command points.
Nice, very good. Right, let's have a look at deployment and see who's going first. Right, so both sides have now deployed. We're doing supplies from above, from chapter approved. So floating objectives on this one. And of course, Paul has brought some lovely objective markers from Meta. And yeah, very nice. So, Dawn of War deployment. Over here, we'll go through Word Bearer deployment here. So down here on near this objective, we have got some cultists. We've got the Vindicator, got the Rhino with the Rubric Marines in. We've got some Plague Marines back here, cultists in front, Chaos Lord here. Sorry, they're chosen. Plague Marines here, sorry, and then cultists in front there. In reserve, we have got the Sorcerer in Terminator armor, the Lord in Terminator armor, and of course the Terminators with the Demons. So a lot in reserve at the moment, which are the Demons, of course, are taking some of the command points away. So from my glorious 9, I'm down to 6 command points. Not good. All right, let's move over and have a look. So Paul has got over here. So in here you've got the Inquisitor, was that correct?
The Inquisitor and the Wolfen,
and the Wolfen, yep. We have got some Acolytes in this one here. Down here we have, of course, got a nice form of Space Wolves there. In the Razorback we have some more Acolytes, is that correct?
Yeah, Acolytes with guns in there.
Nice, and beyond behind there, just by these objectives down here. And then as we move across the battlefield, and I try not to knock a flyer off the board. Sorry, Paul. We come across and we've got another squad down there just behind that objective. So, Paul deployed first, or Space Wolves came onto the battlefield first. So he'll be going first, unless of course I seize. And just to spite him, got a meta dice here. So if I roll a 6.
Always roll 6.
Always roll 6. Well, we'll see. Might get a bad reputation in a minute. No. Okay, so we're moving on to turn 1 for the Space Wolves. Right, turn 1 movement for the Space Wolves. Up here, we can see a bit of an advance towards this objective and of course towards the Heretic Astartes. We've also had the flyers coming in towards the centre. Of course, this is where the good stuff is. We've got Plague Marines, we've got Chosen, we've got Cultists, we've got a lovely little objective down there. Key points there. And across as well, this squad up here have climbed on top of the bastion and the objective is floated down on that side there. So remembering with this mission, the objectives do move around. So this objective, we diced off and it went towards the centre. Same here as well, it went over the defence line there. I mean, out of 4, 3 of them went away from the intended targets. And this one down here, luckily, went straight into the Chaos lines here. So the Chaos have got a very slight advantage at the moment with that. Right, so that is movement done. Let's move on to Psychic and Shooting for the Space Wolves. So first bit of shooting here, Paul has decided to fire the multi-laser heavy bolter into these poor cultists here, and the rocket pods are going to be firing into the Chosen behind there. These plasmas are a bit of a threat for him, and he definitely wants to take care of them. So let's have a look to see what happens. First off, heavy bolters, needing 4s to hit here. 5s, oh yeah, heavy weapons. Oh dear, 1 hit, the cultist.
Not good.
Not good, 3 to wound, yep.
Wounded.
-1, 1 cultist is gone kaput. So 1 dead cultist there. Then we've got the multi-laser.
5s again. Oh,
2 hit.
2 meta dice there.
Yeah, meta.
2
there. And we've got a nice little layer.
Minus...
nothing, I don't think, for a multi-laser.
Minus nothing.
Yeah, here we go. 2 dead cultists. Not good. That's 3 gone. Right, and now we're going to move on to those rocket pods and see if they're able to do anything.
2d6 shots.
Yeah, these are assault weapons. So how many shots was that?
8 shots.
8 shots. Nice. So hitting on 4s here.
Hitting on 4s.
Okay, there's a few hits there.
Not bad, I'll take
No,
that.
that's pretty good. And then rolling to wound.
5s.
Yep.
3s.
3s to wound. 1, 2, 3, 4.
-1.
-1. Right, here we go. Oh goodness! It's 3 dead. I'm actually going to use a command point straight away. Ah, terrible. Right, so 3 dead. Not good. Not good start for the Chosen. Alright, let's move on to the next bit of shooting. We've got Beyond here. He has using Keen Senses stratagem, which it basically negates the moving of a heavy weapon, and firing down here against the Vindicator here. So, Paul, hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s.
Roll some dice.
There we go. That'll do.
Both hit. So 3s to wound.
3s to wound.
Toughness 8. 2 wounds. Jeez. Right, okay. Let's do some 2 saves. Here we go. Oh no. Roll for damage.
Damage.
6 wounds.
I'm going to use another command point and re-roll that one.
You don't have to.
I think I might though. I think I might.
Oh, it's gone.
Off the board.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go. There we go. 6 wounds. Right, so let's have a look and see what's next. So recap for the rest of the shooting phase there. The flyer here fired the rest of its cannons over towards the Vindicator, blowing it up. Unfortunately, it didn't explode. So it just kind of just destroyed. Morale phase, we all passed. The cultists, we lost one, but at re-roll, because of course we're Word Bearers. And we're okay there, and the Chosen staying strong as always. And that was it. So we're going to move into turn 1 for the Chaos. Right, turn 1 movement for Chaos, and the cultists here are moved up, trying to slightly get out of line of sight of those Marines over there, but they're on the objective. The rest of the Chaos forces are edging to the right there, the 2 remaining Chosen and the the Plague Marines moving up with the cultists, and hopefully we'll do a bit of damage over there. Cultists remain stationary here, and the Rhino here is just pushing up below this walkway. And let's have a look, see what we can do in shooting. Right, so turn 1 shooting for Chaos. Unfortunately, not much happened really. We concentrated our fire with plasma guns and bolt gun fire into the Razorback down there, only inflicting 2 wounds. Not good at all. We also fired the Havoc Launcher and Combi Bolter off the Rhino. We got 1 wound through, unfortunately, passed the save there, so not good. We're going to move on to turn 2 for the Space Wolves, and hopefully they will have some terrible luck. Turn 2 movement for Space Wolves. So, as we know, the objectives are moving around. Let's just keep this in mind. So the objective here is moved out of their Chaos control here. Down across here, the objective is just sitting quite happily behind Beyond. Across the battlefield. This one as well, just moved, still in Chaos control at the moment, but that's about to change possibly. And over here, yeah, moved away foot once again, and so the Space Wolves leapt from the Bastion down to take control. Right, so on to movement. Valkyrie, after unloading some of his passengers, it just zoomed across the battlefield to possibly lay down a bit of firepower. Down in the centre here, the Wolf Lord there, and 2 squads of Acolytes are there in the centre, going to be putting some Bolter and Storm Bolter shots across the battlefield. The Wolfen and the Inquisitor zooming across the battlefield in their flyer here. So kind of Space Wolves are definitely amongst the Chaos at this point. Over here, once again, pushing forward slightly, and down here as well, moving up there. So it's a general advance. A couple of things hanging back a little bit, but generally things are moving forward. So let's move on to turn 2 shooting for the Space Wolves. So starting the shooting phase here, Beyond is once again playing the stratagem to ignore the -1 penalty, and he's targeting this little Rhino down here. For some reason, he's a bit worried about what's inside. So let's hitting on 2s.
Let's see how we go.
Right, so 1 hit, re-roll.
Have another go on that one.
Here comes another one. No, 2 hits.
And
Freeze to wound.
Oh,
1 wound. All right, so here we go. Time for a save. No, it's got through.
D6 damage.
D6. 1 wound.
Oh,
he's up. Yep. Here comes another one, guys.
At some point,
you wait and see.
Here we go. 5.
Oh, painful. Right, okay, that's quite damaging. Right, okay, so let's move on and see what's next. Right, end of turn 2 shooting for the Space Wolves. So down here, the Valkyrie has unloaded all its guns on this squad down here, and also the rockets fired on the Death Guard. 1 Plague Marine fell. 5 cultists have fallen there, so that's quite nasty. Over here, the flyer once again popped this Rhino here. The poor rubrics were then surrounded by bolters and storm bolters, and they're down to 3 after a couple were killed in the explosion. The rest were just pitted against bolt gunfire and all fell. So that is it really for shooting. Let's move on to assault. It's going to get brutal. Right, so turn 2 assault. This Wolf Lord charged in, took 1 wound to Overwatch, and then basically had 6 attacks, all hit, all wounded. And we passed only a couple. We passed, I think, 2 arm saves, so they all died, unfortunately. Sad times. And that was the end of assault. So that's a lot of points gone. The rubrics have gone. The remaining chosen have gone. A lot of cultists have gone. Rhino's gone. Ouch. We're going to see, hopefully, some nasty stuff's going to pop out from reserve in a moment and teach them a bit of a lesson. So moving on to turn 2 for Chaos. All right, turn to movement for Chaos. So these cultists are stumbling over the barricades, trying to get down this hot air balloon that's floating around and reach up, maybe form some sort of human pyramid. Down here, we've got the Chaos Lord facing off against that Wolf Lord there. And over here, the reserves are in. It's got the Terminators have dropped in over here. Behind them, we have got the Sorcerer there. Got a Bloodletters along here. Scarbrand on the rear here, as well as a Chaos Lord there, facing up against this force of Space Wolves on this flank. Hopefully we'll get a couple of charges off and be able to do something to these filthy loyalist pigs. So we're going to move into turn 2, Psychic and Shooting for Chaos. Right, so turn 2, Psychic and Shooting. Over here we had a bit of fire. The plasmas fired off down here, did 2 wounds onto the Razorback there. Bolt gunfire ripped into the Acolytes down here. They're taking a fair bit of damage. The cultists from down here also fired, killing off a couple, so there's only 2 left there. Over here, the Terminators fired off a volley of combi bolter shots, wiping out the other squad of Acolytes which were down here, and fired off some Reaper autocannon shots there, but unfortunately they didn't do anything at all. And we had prescience going off on these from the Sorcerer. We had a little smite as well, which killed off one of the Wolf Guard there. So we're going to move into Assault, and hopefully it will go a bit more our way. Let's find out. Turn to Assault for the Word Bearers. So it's gone quite well for Chaos. Attempted to charge in here with the Bloodletters. Unfortunately, it was a bit of a novice mistake and they just didn't make it there. Terminators charged in, butchered the Grey Hunters. That's the one. The Grey Hunters were there. Also boosted with Scarbrand, who made in his charge and killed the Grey Hunters there. So 2 squads of Grey Hunters are gone, which is pretty nice. Down over here, the Chaos Lord charged into combat. It did take 1 wound to a Power Fist. Well, originally it was 2, but there was a command reroll, and it was just 1 wound in the end, and he did kill off the Wolf Lord there. So 3 squads have fallen in combat, which is a very good sign for Chaos. The Acolytes in the centre have passed their morale check, and that was it for this turn 2. We're going to move into turn 3 for Space Wolves and see what's going to be popping out of this. Turn 3 movement for the Space Wolves. So yeah, the Wolfen are now on the field. They've disembarked and they're heading towards Scarbrand and the Terminators. Now these are the biggest threats they've got to be dealt with. They've disembarked. Just lagging behind slightly is the Inquisitor. Probably struggling with his Terminator armour a little bit, but he's moving up nonetheless. He's going to assist. Down here, 2 Acolytes seeking cover behind this bit of machinery. Going to get themselves in a nice bit of firing position. The flyer has now gone in hover mode. It's very close to that Chaos Lord down there. Across the field as well. Acolytes have disembarked. They're securing the objective, and they're going to be putting a lot of fire down into these Plague Marines, hoping to get rid of them before they notice that they've suddenly appeared. Valkyrie has just moved back into a good little location to put some fire support in as well. Oh, and finally, one last thing. The objectives, as you know, move around on the battlefield. This one fell back. Bjorn has followed it and followed it up against Scarbrand there. So this could be quite an interesting little duel there. Right, so that is it. We are going to move on to turn 3 Psychic and Shooting for the Space Wolves. Turn 3 Psychic and Shooting for the Space Wolves. So down here the Acolytes fired all their guns. 1 died through overcharged plasma gun, but knocked these Plague Marines down to standard 2 now. So I think they lost 4 in total in that number. They're also joined by the Valkyrie, putting some supporting fire in. The 2 cultists that were here were being killed off by the Space Wolf bolter fire that came in. It was pretty brutal, both ripped apart. Down across the field, we had the flyer putting fire down towards Scarbrand, as well as the Razorback, and Bjorn is down to 5 wounds on Scarbrand there. It's pretty close to death. We had the Inquisitor fire his fire down in here, and there's only 3 Bloodletters there. They've lost quite a lot. They've lost 6 this turn, so it's going to be a pretty hard leadership to pass. And that was it for shooting. We're going to move on to Assault. And, oh, just to let you know, Terrify has been cast upon the Terminators there as well. We tried to deny, but unfortunately not enough. So this could be quite nasty for them. We're going to move on now into Assault and see if the Space Wolves can carry on this trail of destruction. Right, so end of Assault for the Space Wolves. It was brutal. So Bjorn came in, finished off Scarbrand there, and then the Wolfen there just butchered the Terminators, although one of the Space Wolves did fall to the Terminators there, so it's down to 4. So that's a lot of Chaos Forces have just fallen there. Over here, Inquisitor charged in, took 1 wound to the Cultists, but 4 Cultists died there. Luckily for morale purposes, the Chaos Forces held strong. So we're now going to move on to turn 3 for Chaos. Right, so turn 3 movement. Just to know, the score currently is 3-all to Space Wolves and Chaos. Movement wise, these guys remain in combat. Bloodletters are moved up, behind them the Sorcerer. And over here we've got the Chaos Lord there, very cautious of Bjorn after seeing what he can do to Scarbrand. I'm not really fancying my Lord's chances much. This Lord is pushed up through the building towards those 2 Acolytes there. And over on this flank here, the Plague Marines are moving up to this objective. Take on these Acolytes and see what they can do there. So let's move in to turn 3 Psychic and Shooting for Chaos. Right, so turn 3 Psychic and Shooting. Right, so over here we tried Death Hex, got denied. Tried Smite, that also got denied. Combi Bolter fired, did 1 wound, failed the save, unfortunately. Got the feel no pain and passed on that one. Frag Grenade as well, nothing. Frag Grenade over here, killed off 1 of the Acolytes there. Down here, Plasma Gun fired, and Blight Grenade, and no damage there.
That one's to wound.
Oh dear. So we're going to move into Assault. Don't fancy their chances, but it's a Chaos way. So let's see what we can do. Moving on to Chaos, turn 3 Assault. Right, so turn 3 Assault. Over here, the Plague Marines were both killed to Overwatch, unfortunately. Both plasma guns came in and just ripped them apart, even with disgusting resilience. They weren't able to do anything. Apparently I'm Paul's first here, where he's never killed anyone to Overwatch. So, there you go. Over here, this Lord attempted to charge in. Nothing, double ones, not good. Down here, more Cultists were butchered by the Inquisitor with the Thunderhammer there. And down here, yikes, it wasn't good. Lords on 4 wounds, Sorcerers on 3, a Bloodletter's dead, but we killed 1 Wolfen. It's not looking good at all for Chaos here. We may have 1 model left, I think, at the end of the next turn. So, right, let's move into turn 4 for the Space Wolves. Right, so turn 4 movement for the Space Wolves. The objective once more has fallen back slightly over there. Space Wolves remain stationary because it's still capturing it. This one's remained still, although they've formed a little perimeter around it. Make sure it's not going to float off anywhere. Both the flyers are back up in the air. Well, actually, this one's on hover mode, I think. So they're
both in hover mode.
They're both in hover mode, yeah. So they're targeting the Lord there as the Acolyte backs off. He doesn't want to get caught up in the crossfire there. Down here, objectives kind of pushed back slightly just behind the Cultists. So if the Cultists do fall, that's going to be a bit of a push for them to get. And the objective over here is now under the Razorback reverse just to capture it. And yeah, Bjorn has come in over here to capitalise on the engaged characters. So that is it. Let's see what we can do in turn 4 Psychic and Shooting for Space Wolves. Right, so end of shooting there. The Valkyrie just fired everything it had, levelled the area around there, killing the Lord. Over here as well, we tried to smite, and thankfully, for one thing, it was denied. So these 2 cultists can sit happily there. We're going to move on to Assault now and see if Wolfen and Bjorn can finish off the remaining guys over here. Let's find out. Right, end of turn 4 for the Space Wolves there. And yeah, basically, they killed off the Sorcerer. Bjorn did a lot of damage, but somehow the Lord is still standing with 2 wounds there. 2 Wolfen did fall in that, which is quite good. Didn't really bother putting any attacks against Bjorn now because it's almost too late. Can't do anything about him. Just got to accept our demise. And now we're going to move on to Chaos, turn 4. Right, so end of Assault for Chaos. Unfortunately, we had no other movement or shooting. It was straight into Assault. And yeah, brutal stuff. The Terminator Lord, the Sorcerer and the 2 Bloodletters all fell to these guys. It was not nice, so the Chaos have been completely boarded. Dear oh dear. So it was a Space Wolf victory. Lots of Space Wolves there. Yeah, Paul is very happy with that. Paul, do you have a model of the match?
Oh,
or squad, or
I'm gonna choose the squad of acolytes over there, standing next to Chikero.
yep.
Yeah, it's killing the Plague Marines on Overwatch was pretty good.
Yeah,
Quite
yeah,
happy with that.
definitely. Killing off those Plague Marines. It's always quite a nice achievement when it's just like mere guardsmen, the equivalent of, but re-rolling hits and wounds for acolyte troops against chaos. It's horrible with those weapons. They literally just get blown apart. For myself, I don't know. I really enjoyed using Scarbrand. It's not very often I even get to field him. I think possibly the first battle report we've had with him, he came in, did a lot of damage and boosted up the Terminators that also killed off the other Space Wolf squad. So Scarbrand, unfortunately did die to Bjorn, but you know, who better to die to, really, to be honest. So Bjorn has fallen. Right, so that is it. It's been a very fun game. Thank Paul for coming along and taking part. If you are down in the south of the UK and you fancy a good tournament, of course, Meta are the people to go to. So go check them out on Instagram or Facebook. Anywhere else we can check you out, Paul?
Mostly Instagram and Facebook, metaevents.co.uk is our website as well.
Yeah, there will be a link below on this video, so go check them out. Really worth going to one of their events. Really good guys. And yeah, go check them out, boys and girls. So this is Dom from BlackToad Studios. Thank you very much for watching and take care.